And now, Effective Communication with Phil Zeller, CEO, Dale Carnegie, Southwest Michigan.
Question for you, my friend. Did you make any New Year's resolutions earlier this year? How they going? If you are on it and you are crushing it, woohoo! I am cheering for you, my friend, because you are on your game. Now, if you're that person, I'm cheering for you. Yes, I am. The great thing about it is you're in the minority. You're actually one who's getting it done. The rest of us are still working on it, right? We're challenged trying to make it all fit together and trying to stay on our game and trying to stay on top of things that we've committed ourselves to do. And isn't this life, though, for the majority of us? You know, we have these great intentions, and then we don't always follow through with them. And the question is, why not? Why not? So if that's you, then this show today is for you. Phil Zeller, Effective Communication. You've come to the right place today if that's you. If you're the person who everything you commit to, it just happens and you get it done, boom, okay, jump to the next episode. But for the rest of us, it is the show for you today, because I've been thinking about this a lot, and I thought about it a lot in my life, and how many times in my life that I really have great intentions about something, and then it didn't come to fruition. And then, of course, you got to look in the mirror and you look at yourself and you're saying, wow, why didn't it happen? Well, it's probably this person staring at me in the mirror. And depending on what you do for a living and how you make your living really funnels into this, right? I spent a lot of years of my life in sales. And the reason I got into sales is, and some of you know my background story, is the reason I got into sales is 4 out of 5% of nouveau wealth in the United States of America was made in one occupation. And that occupation, when I was growing up, was in sales. So if you wanted to make money and you could do it, go into sales. But as we also know, since 2007, sales has been the number one needed business occupation in the world. And you can't find salespeople. Why? Because sales is gut check time 24/7. You got to go. And you're questioning yourself, and are people buying you? Because they don't buy your product or service until they buy you. And that's the challenging thing about sales. And so it's really you versus yourself to get that buy-in from other people. And I can't tell you how many times in my sales career where I found myself in a moment where I'm like, did I do it right? Did I try hard enough? Is this going to work out? Is this not going to work out? And you find yourself second guessing yourself. And to what avail? And you start getting worried and you get stressed about things. And then more recently, people have anxiety, right? They get really anxious about stuff, and you ask them how they're feeling. They're like, I'm really anxious. I'm really fired up about this, and I don't know what to do or why. And then you put this in perspective. And this is what I want to share with you, my friends who do this. It's time to put this in perspective. We're going to have some peace for ourselves now in our life. And this is why you're here with me here today, is to find some peace in your life, right? So here's what we found. Statistically, of 100% of the things you could worry about, 85% never happen. Now, I've shared with you stats before, but I'm going to share with you a different angle today, because this is critical for your peace. 85% of things that you worry about never happen. That leaves 15%. Of that 15%, 12% happen. That happen with little to no fanfare. They're not a big deal. They're like little speed bumps going through a neighborhood in your car, right? They're not a big deal. You go over them, you slow down, you get through them. No worries, no problems. Everything's good to go, and you make it through it. And you think, wow, why did I really stress myself and worry so much about that? It wasn't that big of a deal. Then that leaves, if you're doing the math, that leaves 3%. 3% that are really going to challenge you, my friends. That's where we're going to focus right now, is that 3%. Because if you remember to use the law of averages, as Dale Carnegie would say, you're going to write the 85% off. That leaves the 15, 12% of things going to happen. Not a big deal. That leaves me 3% left that are a big deal. They're going to hit you in your life. Now, if you put that in perspective, you got 90%, 7% off the table, you got 3% you're dealing with. Now that's manageable. You can manage that 3%, right? And this is my point, manage the 3%. And what I found in my life is, if I'm objective with that 3%, if I'm not so subjective and so stressed out and so worried about it and so anxious about it and beat myself up over it, I can step back from the situation, analyze the situation. It's only 3% of the time, and I can be objective. And if I'm objective, oh my gosh, I'm going to tell you, folks, you do this, And you will find so much more peace and harmony in your life. It's freeing. It's liberating because you get that 3%. And rather than going, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, I'm drowning, you say, wow, how can I get through this? Let's take a look at this. Let's be objective. What would other people share with me to do? What other resources do I have? What information do I have? Who can I talk to about this? And what can I bring into this to overcome this 3% of the real stuff that's in my way? And when you do this, my friends, and you do it every single day, oh my gosh, so much will fall into line. You'll be amazed with yourself, and you will have so much more peace in your life. Now go make it happen. You deserve it.